Okay, good evening everybody and welcome to this opening press conference from our media centre here in Al Wakrah. Apologies for the slight delay in beginning. There's quite a few you here, so what I'd ask in terms of housekeeping rules, if you can just raise your hand, and before you ask a question, if you can just state your name and who you work for as well. If we can limit to sort of a couple of questions each, that'd be much appreciated so we can get around as many of you as possible. We'll start with Rob Dorset from Sky News. Rob, when you're ready.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Listen, you've given us a brief idea now of just how special it feels to be part of this, but can you give us an idea of how the call went? Brendan Rodgers told us that you had a missed call from Gareth Southgate, and he said go and take it and run it back in their office. What talk us through it?
Well, I was actually in Brendan's office having a chat with him about stuff and about the day, and he asked me if I'd heard anything, and I hadn't at that point, and we were talking through. He was just being a good man manager and putting his arm around me if I didn't get the call, and how it would look, and how to try and stay motivated for Saturday's game and then enjoy the break kind of thing. And went back down to the changing room after and had a missed call off Gareth Southgate, so the heart starts beating. I had his number saved still, and went up and called him back, and he gave me the good news. And like I just said to you in there, it was all a little bit of a blur, but after the call finished and he had told me that I was in, it was a head on the wall moment, big deep breath, and then called my parents. So.
You gave an awful lot of England fans and probably Gareth a bit of a heart attack when you went down in the centre circle for the weekend with a bit of a knee problem. Your manager said, you've had that for a while, you're managing it, you should be fine. Talk to us about it. How is it?
It's okay, yeah. We had a scan the day before we met up, which was a positive scan. Had a little problem in the week building up to the West Ham game and post Everton game, which was the week before for us. And I wanted to play. I didn't want to not give it a go because of the World Cup, and that's not the type of person I am. I didn't want to have that attitude. I wanted to help Leicester because the focus was still there, and managed to obviously score early and carry on for a little bit after that. But it was a bit of soreness, and it was getting a little bit worse as the game went on. So thought it was probably the best for me to come off and get someone else on who wouldn't have a little problem in that full sprint and that full extent. But like I said, we've had the scan since, and it was a good scan. It wasn't any major problems. Have to do a little bit of work to get up to speed with the physios here and stuff, but should be no concern.
Is it going to have any impact on your involvement in this tournament, your involvement in the first game?
Well, I hope not, no. Obviously, we've got to tick a few boxes. We only got here yesterday, so we've got to tick a few boxes with the physio team. There might be a little bit of separate work, extra work to make sure that's right, and it's not a problem because I want to be fully 100% if called upon. So, but yeah, I'm hopeful that I'll be fine for you. Thank you. No, I never felt like it had gone. There's obviously times where you might feel like you're playing well and wasn't selected, which was the case for a couple of times. But it's about having the right mindset, I think, and staying hungry to achieve and not kind of thinking that it's a closed door, because we've seen with Gareth, especially in the past, that he's brought players back in if they're in good form and stuff. And thankfully that was me for this tournament. I managed to squeeze my way into the squad, which I was very, very happy about. But I don't think at any point I thought it was a closed door and the opportunity had gone. It was just about staying hungry and almost using the rejection of not being called up in previous camps as motivation to try and get back in and force my way back in, yeah. No bitterness. I know Gareth's the England manager and he's got a lot of talent at his disposal. But just keeping that mindset of staying hungry, scoring, assisting, affecting games, and showing that I can be an asset for him at this level, yeah. I think we've all seen England at major tournaments in recent years, and they've been brilliant. I mean, at the Euros, you could see there was a feel about the Euros and in Russia that the togetherness was all there for everyone to see publicly, in-house, and coming back into the squad and meeting up in the first few days. It's been the same sort of thing, and you can feel it. You know, there's a real good energy, and you've obviously heard ex-players in the past talk about maybe when they met up with England in previous years about it being a bit I don't know, the atmosphere not being right, maybe a little bit of rivalry from certain clubs, but there's just no feel of that here. There's such a good group, such a young, well-balanced group of young players and experienced players, and I just don't think that'll be a problem.
Just finally from me, we obviously live in a country where being LGBTQ is, you know, widely accepted and hopefully embraced. What are your feelings about coming somewhere where being a member of that community is not only immoral but also illegal?
Well, I think firstly, obviously, as England players and the FA put a statement out, and I think I'm aware of the problems and the issues here. But we're people who stand for diversity and inclusivity, and I think that's what it said in the statement, and that's all I'm going to say on that, because I think probably not educated enough and on the whole thing to make a comment, and don't want to say something wrong, you know. So that's what I will say on that.
Hi James, Faker Others,
Hello.
Talk Sport. Nice to see you. I don't know whether you listen to our station and have heard the clamouring by every pundit, every fan who rings in that you had to be in this England squad. Was there a part of you that felt you absolutely, with your form in the Premier League this season, had to be part of this squad?
No, I don't think I'd put it like that. But I was hopeful, you know. The one thing I always say when I've been talked about my exclusion from the squad was that the one thing I can control is my form and what I do at Leicester, and that is what I'm in control of. And the rest, I always said, will take care of itself, and then it leaves the decision with the England manager whether he wants to pick me or not. And thankfully my form has been good enough, and people at TalkSport or wherever have been talking, but it's all noise, you know, and I just tried to stay focused. I think that the best chance I could have given myself to get in the squad was just staying focused on what I was doing at Leicester, and it's worked out. It's worked out all right, because here I am.
Yeah, it certainly has. What's it like when you hear that the England manager is coming to watch one of your games leading into a major tournament? What's that like as a player?
Well, I think you don't actually hear it. I don't think I've ever been at a game where I've known that Gareth's been there, to be honest, until after it. Someone might say, "Oh, Gareth Southgate was here today," or you might see it if they zoom in on the stands or something. I don't think I've ever actually gone into a game knowing Gareth is going to be there, and I'm not sure how I'd feel, because I don't think I've been in that situation.
Just finally, saw you guys all earlier doing all your green screen media things. Everybody seemed very, very chilled out. The question I get asked every time I go on air is, what's the mood like in camp? So let's hear it directly from you instead.
The mood's brilliant, you know. We've come out here, we've got an absolutely fantastic hotel. The team we have here at the FA in England is second to none. The setup we've got in our hotel is absolutely brilliant, all down to the finer things, like the little touches, like checking into my room, and there's like little framed pictures of my little boy and my family and my mum and dad that they do, and just the little things like that. So and like you said, you saw the media stuff earlier. Everyone's in good spirits, a lot of excitement, and can't wait to get going. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Hello, James, Caribbean Sport. You said after you spoke to Gareth, the next thing you did was pick up the phone to your mum and dad. What was that conversation like after all you've been through?
Well, my dad actually cried, and my dad's not a crier. I don't think I've seen my dad cry for years, you know. Happy tears, of course, because your family and your parents, they're on this journey with you, you know. It's so when sometimes you might feel, when in previous years I've been left out of squads where I thought I might have had a chance, the disappointment of that is spread across the family, because your family want what's best for you, and so, but on the opposite end of the scale, the happiness comes for them as well. And my mum and dad, actually, the day of the announcement, the Thursday I think it was, after training I actually wanted to go see them in person. I went home back to Coventry and had dinner at home with my mum and dad and my little boy and my partner. So because I wanted to see, because that's a moment that I'll cherish forever, you know. After that phone, the actual phone call was a bit of a blur. Like, I couldn't tell you what Gareth said, to be fair. It was just all very heart-in-mouth moments. But I wanted to see him, give my mum a big hug, and it was a special day for all of us. And like I said, one I'll definitely never forget.
It's quite poetic. You talk about being with your little boy for that moment. When you posted that photo 5 days ago with the face paint of you, I think, was it a Beckham head shave? That's an iconic moment, that free kick with David Beckham, not on the World Cup stage, but got into a major tournament. And we know you're very good at those set pieces. What will it mean to you to step up and execute something like that on the world stage? And you do it so coolly. are you going to be able to manage with this stage?
Yeah, well, firstly, I'm not sure it was the Beckham hair shave. I think it was just barbers were quite expensive, and Mum and Dad probably couldn't afford it. But because my mum used to get the clippers out every couple of weeks, and it was a number 2 all over. So, but the moment, like you spoke about, like Beckham and set pieces, moments like that, they stick around forever. Like, how many times have we all watched Beckham's free kick versus Greece to send us to a major tournament, and moments like that, they're the moments that you literally dream of. They're the ones that, if it could go perfectly to plan, they're the moments. And major and big moments like that in major tournaments are the special ones that get replayed for years and years, and you go down in history. So to get one like that would be absolutely unbelievable, but that'd be the real pinnacle and a real dream. Yeah.
You can get them crying at home after saying something like that. Everyone's getting so excited. What did Gareth Southgate say to you in that huddle? It's such a change, isn't it? The heat, the palm trees. It will be 20 degrees Celsius in the stadium, thankfully. But what did he say in that huddle? You were there for a long time. What was his message to you all?
You mean out on the pitch today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Steve Holland, about a little bit about the training, what we would do, and then what it'd mean to go deep in this tournament and what it's going to take. And it's going to take a lot. There's so many nations that are strong, and how focused and dedicated we're going to have to be to the cause, and we all know that. We're all on the same page, so we're all excited.
Steve Scott.
Steve Scott from ITV News. I just wondered, obviously the lead-in to the action starting is so short this time, unusually. What has Gareth said about that, and how you're going to have to approach this week?
Well, Steve actually said today, I think to the last tournament there was 28 sessions from the last game, from the meet up to the first game, whereas this is going to be like 4 or 5 or whatever, which is obviously different, but it's new to everyone. You know, we're not actually sure how it's going to fare, because you don't know. It's the first time there's been a mid-season World Cup like this. So, but it's about, the good thing is that a lot of the lads have been playing and are in good form and regular minutes at club football. So it's not exactly like they're going to need a lot of time to get up to speed. Majority of the lads play in Europe as well, where the games are every 3 to 4 days. So I don't think it's going to be a fitness problem, anything like that. It's just probably the preparation is not as dragged out over 3 to 4 weeks. You're straight in, and you need to, probably more important, that you need to hit the ground running, because there's not as much time to prepare. Yeah. Yeah,
and you don't get the benefit of playing together.
Yeah, exactly. There's no friendly games. There's nothing like that. Especially for myself, in an ideal world, you'd want the long build up, but it's the same for everyone, and it's almost that you don't have that anticipation of many weeks of building up to that first game, because you're straight in, and probably takes a little bit. It probably helps on the mental side of things that we're straight in, and there's no overthinking to do. So trying to look at the positives of the quick start. Yeah.
And just one on a personal level, when you finally got settled in last night and went to bed, did you lie there thinking, "Wow, I'm here. This is it"?
Well, when I was lying there, I was thinking, I hope the aircon goes a little bit colder than this, to be honest. But yeah, every moment at the minute is almost like a pinch me moment, like, and it sounds a bit cliche, but just getting on the plane and then getting off the plane, seeing the reception we got from locals, and just every moment turning up to the training complex today, the media stuff, it's all a bit surreal, and obviously my first major tournament, so just trying to take it all in.
Hi James, Simon Peach from PA. It's just a quick one. You said that Brendan was being a good manager and stuff. Were you expecting bad news that day?
I think I was kind of braced for both a little bit. I think the saying of almost like hoping for the best but preparing for the worst. I haven't been in the squad for 3 years, and I'm not naive. I understand how it works and stuff, but I also had that hope, you know, that I was playing well. I was in good form. I was in goal scoring form. I've been a threat for a little while now on the pitch, and was hoping for the good call instead of the bad call. And there is obviously some players that miss out and stuff, but thankfully I was on the receiving end of a good phone call from Gareth, and yeah, like I said, one I'll never forget.
You strike us as a confident player, a confident individual, but when you were being overlooked in the past, did that ever dent that confidence? Did it make you question yourself?
There was definitely times where you question certain things, and what am I doing that's not getting me in the England squad? I think you have to, because you almost, otherwise you have a little bit, it's almost might be a little bit arrogant of not improving, you know, because I'm obviously the pinnacle is playing for England, right? And when you feel like you're playing well and you might be deserved of a call up and you don't get it, you kind of got to tell yourself, how can I do better to get in, instead of having the arrogance of I should be in, you know? And I think I did that, and I worked very hard behind the scenes at Leicester and on how I can score more, how can I assist more, to almost try and force the manager's hand to not, so he can't leave me out, you know? And but then on the balance of that, you kind of always got to have that self-belief and remind yourself of why you are where you are and why you're even in the picture and stuff. So it's about getting that balance, I'd say.
Hi, Rob Harris from Sky News. Good luck with the tournament. So often around a tournament there's a clamour around one particular player. Probably had it with Jack Grealish around the Euros. The fans hoping there's a player who can add that little bit of extra difference and creativity and spark. Do you think you can be that player that helps England finally win a major men's trophy again?
Well, I hope so, yeah. I mean, the way I've got to look at it, I've got to be ready when called upon, you know. Like I've just said, I feel like I'm in good form. I've been in good goal-scoring form, and we've got such a brilliant squad that you might only get that one moment, that one chance to go and show everyone what you can do and be the man to help the team. And I'll be ready when that opportunity comes, yeah.
Hi, John Weaver from AFP. Do you think the England's dip in results over the past year might have lessened the pressure a little bit in terms of expectations from fans?
I think fans always have the highest expectations. I think there's probably 8 or 9 nations where the group of fans will be expecting their team to win, and that's just how football works. You know, it's the same at club football. The fans always have very high expectations, probably too high at most clubs, because that's just how it is, and fans always want to see the best for the team that they're supporting. So listen, we know the expectations are high, and in the last 2 major tournaments have been absolutely brilliant. The boys have semi-final and then a final. There's only that one step further that you can go, and that's winning it. So they're right to have high expectations. We've got a brilliant group, and hopefully we can go all the way, yeah.
Okay, guys, we'll conclude the live section there, and we'll move on to a very short section embargoed until 10:30 p.m. UK time today. John Cross.
Hello, James. John Cross from the Mirror. Hello. I was just going to ask you briefly, you touched on the air conditioning, and we always know that Qatar's hot, obviously. But has the temperatures surprised you? And what do you think the sort of, I mean, it was similar training time today for the first time kick-off, wasn't it?